shout out to the Legrand Commission for this one. And he tweeted this, I think, on the 13th. So, let's face it, that's about 5 days ago, but it's still valid. I like this. He states, where are all the XRP holders at, right? Like DMX, where the hood at, right? Where are all the XRP holders at, basically? And where they're at is apparently, like it says right here from Crypto Basics. So let's blow this up. XRP fair value ranges from what, guys? 981 to 513,000, says research finds. No, this is not quoting, the Forbes article of, was it, guys, over 50,000. But on the 13th, a research paper from Val Hill Capital contends that there are, or that the XRP fair value is much higher than its current market price, ranging from 981 to, for instance, 513,000. Now, some people, stated in the past, oh, great. Where are they really pulling this information up? And is there anything to cite? Because, we do need our citations to support some of these claims, so on and so forth, right? Well, what I want to do now is actually kind of give you an idea of what the heck I'm talking about. So shout out to this guy. Some of you guys do watch his morning show. It's Abs, right? The guy that's in the picture here. He's part of the 3T Warriors Academy over at Good Morning Crypto. And he posted this originally on the 13th as well. And it makes you wonder, is this now valid? Where are they pulling these numbers? Where they're pulling some of these numbers is because of these glitches. And some people don't like me pointing out glitches, but guess what? No offense, too bad. Today, or at least on the 13th, like it says, XRP glitched to 43K. XRP price briefly skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping 43,072 before correcting itself. And that is referenced from where? Crypto.com? So now you're starting to see some of these mainstream centralized, right, exchanges and so on, CEXs, citing this as well. I mean, if I was on my Crypto.com app and I saw that, I'd probably go, oh my God, I might have like a brief heart attack or something. I'll never forget the last bull market, looking at my portfolio, and literally went from like 16,000 up to over 100K. I do definitely remember that. And literally like, whoa, is this happening? Yeah, right? How many other people felt the same way? What's causing all this with the wild price displays on multiple exchanges? And why is it always XRP? I'd be asking that even if I didn't hold XRP. Even if I was a person like, oh, they're just diluting it. It's just a big scam, right? I'd be asking that. I would want to learn more about that. I mean, wouldn't you want to learn more about that? I mean, isn't this a common thing? I mean, we're not talking about, oh, this is, oh, this is just exchange I never heard out in Kyrgyzstan. And they do $150 worth of volume. No, we're not talking about that at all. This is crypto.com, for crying out loud. So it's interesting. And here it is, basically. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nuts? Look at that for a second. Let's watch that for a second. Oh, I'm on my crypto.com app. Oh my God. Right? Like the guy says, sell. Yeah. I would be like, it's happening. It's happening. Right? Yeah. I would be freaking the hell out. All right. Obviously, we got a little bit more about this. Let's jump into this next part. Now, to talk about BlackRock and XRP, because obviously it's part of the title. So, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, quote, the next step in the tokenization of financial assets, and that means every stock, every bond. You guys seen some of this before. And now, of course, I'll play the real juicy one with, Fox Business here in a bit, but I do want to play this. Let's listen to this. I think it's loud enough for you can hear it. Let me just double check.
And
yeah, it is. All right. Minute and a half. Stay tuned. Here we go.
And we believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move. I would also say on the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin, we believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own basically CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we could customize strategies through tokenization that is, if it's every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own share.
Does BTC have instant settlement? I think not. So that's interesting. There's more, right? Not to sound like Billy Mays back in the day, but wait, there's more. So we're going to pull up a little bit more about this, obviously. Let's clear out some more tabs. Here's more about this. And this time around, it's not Larry Fink. It's Paul Taylor of Blackrock. Now, I want to give another shout out to another research enthusiast. Great research. We follow research. We follow each other. Shout out to Mr. Man at Mr. Man XRP. I want to share this from him. I saw this earlier today. I thought I would share it with our community. And check this out. So Mr. Man has this, and it mentions specifically Paul Taylor, BlackRock. What will be the detonator that will accelerate crypto? Number one, regulations. Number two, liquidity. Listen to this perspective. This will definitely open up your eyes as well. This was recorded from apparently, I think, a live broadcast, maybe on YouTube. That looks very familiar. I don't know if that's StreamYard or Streamlabs, but listen to this perspective. Let's play this 2.5 minutes. If you appreciate the content, please, all we ask is that you smash the like. All right, here we go.
Amazing. Now, switching a little bit more as an enabler, right? So there's a lot of potentially for DeFi and real world assets and whatnot. But Paul, I would like to, from your perspective, what do you think is the most enabler of tokenization to happen? Is it like a legal path? Is it like a custodian? Is it an issuance function? What do you think is going to be like the detonator here?
Sure. And maybe I can speak a little bit from a sort of like US perspective. But I, in my opinion, there are two things. The first is probably regulations. I mean, first off, the US has been, I guess we're kind of sort of a little bit behind the ball when it comes to, crypto regulations and kind of our philosophy around it. And, unfortunately, we've had a lot of, I guess, other headlines that have been, not favorable for the industry. But I do think, legislators are working past that. We do have a lot of good folks kind of, really moving the ball there. But I think a lot of it is also just kind of we're waiting for the U.S. elections, honestly. We'll see if the SEC still has the direction and influence it does, post-election. I think a lot of asset managers are kind of waiting for that as more of a catalyst. But even regardless, though, I think, regulations are moving in the right direction. And a lot of asset managers, it's, we want to do stuff in Web3 that we just can't do it right now because, legal and compliance says, is this a security or what's the tax implication of this? Or like, can this vehicle be structured like this? What's the liability? There are so many gray areas that, institutions are very risk oriented. And if there's kind of just uncertainty, institutions really like to avoid that. So, hopefully regulations will bring clarity, whether it's, quote unquote, like, positive or negative. I don't think that necessarily matters too much. I think just having some sort of defined regulation will be very helpful. So I see that as being like the first catalyst. But the second catalyst is really around liquidity. Institutions really care about that. I mean, you can probably value it the same level as risk. And for institutions, it's very important that when we enter and exit positions, it needs to be liquid. Like we don't want to get in a position then we can't leave it for a month or a year. Like it's very important that we have liquidity in and out. So I think a lot of kind of tokenized assets that are very liquid will probably become most popular. That'll kind of serve as like the first proof of concept for kind of tokenized assets broadly. And I think once a couple tokenized assets become highly liquid, and I'm talking about like 50 billion plus liquidity, I think that's a nice proof of concept for other assets becoming broadly tokenized at scale. So that's how I view it, at least from the US perspective here.
Wow. Did we not listen to what you just said in regards to that? 50 billion in regards to liquidity. Need an answer as far as like utility to meet that need. Wouldn't Ripple's on-demand liquidity ODL meet that need? So he gave a couple examples. You saw everything that we had on the lineup in regards to what Larry Fink mentioned and so on. The tokenization of all this. So again, he's not coming out and literally saying XRP, but I mean, come on, we've done enough research to basically like, well, if it's a liquidity problem and you need 50 billion or more, and if anything, instantaneous, refilling, like as the saying goes, that cup that may become empty, or the glass, going back for refills. Wouldn't ODL be the solution? I think it would be. This is all we have? No, it's not. So take a look at this for a second. Let's pull the tab off of this one and get into the next one. So this is good as well, and I promise you guys we're gonna get to some juicy stuff. It's not just Blackrock. There's another one we're gonna get into in regards to another specific person. I won't give it away, or outfit, I should say, institution. I won't give that away yet. But I want to give a shout out to GG, aka Digital G. He shared this with me yesterday. I also saw it as well. Didn't have a chance to share on the show because the show was over. So check out, take a look into this. Big things are happening, right? Not just at Davos and so on. But what is this? Well, this is why you see in the description HBAR and Algo also tagged for the live show. It says, get ready for the Utility Alliance, XRP HBAR Algo, the public blockchain for business. I don't know about you, but it always excites me when I see some of the key industry players like Dr. Lehman Baird of HBAR, or Hedera, I should say, and teaming up, for instance, the gentleman on the far left from Algo. We shared that last week, right? In regards to DREC, okay? So we've been there, done that. Some people say don't hype it up too much. I thought it was a big deal, but teach his own. But now, come on, Brad Garlinghouse of XRP, Ripple's XRP. It's only 21 seconds. The audio is not perfect. I wish I could have got one a little bit better, but I do appreciate this guy for sharing this. I will give him a follow. And yeah, I'm going to like it, retweet it, share it with you guys as well. By all means, share it with the community. Let's play this. Look at this.
It's another place where tribalism is not helpful to us. Right. And so if we can work together, Algorand just mentioned that they're going to work on this, we're going to work on this, and
we're going to make sure we start to talk about whether we can collaborate as well. So it's good.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Possibly. And we're going to talk about how we can collaborate with the things you were talking about for scam identification and dealing with it. I think that we can work together in a lot of ways as an industry.
All right, if you missed what Lehman Baird was saying right there, he feels as though that we can all work together, right, as a group, or in this industry. Right, true. It's like trying to, like, especially when we talk about Society 5.0, like the JASMY examples, all working together for one goal. Yes, you see all of them in that same room, all working together for one goal in the industry, right? So basically, we're going to share this next part. And of course, that was just real quick. That was from yesterday. So a little bit, that modern stuff for you guys. So this is actually technically 5 days ago from Fox Business. And I'm going to go ahead and share this. This is a lot better quality compared to that other clip. So when I chop up the other one, you will see me use my amp to boost up the volume. But on the live show, sorry about that, can't boost it. But check this out. Larry Fink, once again, I fast forwarded to the key juicy area for you. This has, where were we at? Roughly, I think, a little under 5 minutes. So about 4 minutes, 50 seconds, something like that. Let's play this. Blackrock CEO Larry Fink, the economy is in a very good position. But listen to what he has to say about Bitcoin. And of course, the juicy part from the interviewer over at Fox Business in regards to XRP. All right, here we go.
But I did believe, and it still remains, and this is Gary's position,
right,
that it's still one of the vehicles for illicit activity. So I think no one can deny that. Where I came around to it, and I came around to a different interpretation 3 years ago, that there's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. It is a great store, and this is where you can debate. Is it a good store?
But you know how it's made. A bunch of computers figure out
But
math
there's
problems.
but the issue is if people believe that it can be an asset that can be cross-border.
Right.
And let's be clear, if you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, and maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it.
Mhm.
If you're in a government where if you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your
Right.
government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits.
Like us.
I'm not going to go there.
Go the little elephant in the room. Here.
Yeah. You could say this is a great potential long-term store of value. And as I said, it's like digital gold. And I believe.
But you still can't buy a slice of pizza with it. Isn't that kind of odd that we're.
But you can't buy a price of pizza with palladium or gold.
No, but there you can do stuff with them. I can get stuff with. I mean, people use gold for stuff, right?
But you could buy and sell your Bitcoin, no different than gold. So it is very.
What is it? But gold is put in like
jewelry,
and you know, iPhones. I think there's in some electronics there's
it's
gold.
more silver. And nickel.
But you see what I'm saying? It's there are practical uses. Bitcoin, it's literally a ledger. Right?
It is a ledger, but it's a international ledger. It's cross-border. It's bigger than any government.
I agree with you. It would have blown up, I believe, in FTX, and it didn't after FTX. Let me ask you.
There's a lot of bad players in all startup things, and this was a great example. I think it's now becoming more legitimatized.
Right.
I think the advent of Bitcoin ETFs is an example that we're legitimizing it. We're creating more safety.
Well, let me ask you this. Will you do another ETF? How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right. They're giving me the rap. Thank you.
Charlie.
You're always a good sport.
It's always a be good here.
You are the best in the business. Remember, Larry Fink started, I know this is because I'm a geek, started BlackRock at zero. It's 10 trillion. It's amazing to me.
What do you guys think of that? You know, at the end of the day, let me pull the stuff back on. At the end of the day, as I always say, you guys always tell me, I say that all the time. I guess I do say that all the time. But it's true. At the end of the day, if the answer was no, he would have said no. He didn't say that. To me, that's basically a yes. I mean, come on. Am I really thinking like, are we overthinking this? I don't think so. I really don't think so. NDAs are a thing. They always have been. They always will be. And that's why he can't just come out with a definitive no. You know, I mean, some people say, well, politicians do that, right? But he's not a politician. Well, he's an institutional politician, if you will. Like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but say what you want. Those are some very powerful words. And the answer to that, obviously, this is being shared all over X. Thought I'd bring it to you guys. We're not quite done on the XRP segment. Check this out for a second as well. This is big, in my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to overhype it. I want to give a shout to another, content creator as well. And I did retweet this earlier. Let's go ahead and bring this up before we close out the XRP segment. Actually, there's one more after this. Okay. So let's get into this. This comes from Jack the Rippler. I'm totally familiar with him. I know a lot of you guys follow him as well. Look at this. Okay. Because, I mean, it's right on par with everything we've been talking about all night, right? Boom! Grayscale has added XRP to its list, and XRP ETF is only a matter of time. Do you feel as though this is valid? I mean, we can research this more, but BlackRock will also jump on the XRP train. And again, this is why I waited to share this particular clip before showing the whole thing with Larry Fink on Fox Business. BlackRock, yes, will also jump on XRP train. David Schwartz did have his quote from the past. I don't have it right now, but I do agree with this. Quote, XRP can't be dirt cheap. Right. There's no way it could stick around for what's at right now. People all FUD in it. Consider it a blessing in disguise. That's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and play this. This is only 17 seconds. Again, not the best audio. When it gets chopped up, I'll use the amp. Here we go.
You know, I think we're going to see a lot of filings come out for Ethereum. I even think we might see something for Ripple, given the recent progress. You notice that Grayscale just added Ripple to one of their trusts that's publicly traded. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Ripple or Ethereum spot ETFs out there.
So what do you think about that? Grayscale is definitely on board. Maybe not, right? But it's definitely worth pointing out.